Hi everyone, my name is Dylan Mangel and this is Scout Nebraska. So we're in the field today looking at different planting dates, and we're looking at frost damage on some of the earlier planting dates. So these range from March 13th and then about every 2 weeks on after that. All this was put in the ground by Aaron Nygren, and I'm standing here at these demo plots. You can see these were corn last year, now they're into beans, and this is the first planting date from March 13th. Down there, the same thing with corn from the same date. You can see that first planting date. The corn survived, but this first soybean planting date did not. You can see some beans did pull through, but it's very sparse. So we've got a little bit of a row. We've got some sporadic beans. We've got some weeds in here as well, but very few beans. There was actually 2 late frosts. These kind of pulled through the first one, and then the second one, they were up enough that it got them. In the areas with some of the thicker residue, seemed to have survived slightly better. But if we pass those first 8 rows, now we get down here to about March 30th or so, and we've got slightly more beans. You can see the row going down a little bit, but again, it's a diminished stand. If we go, let's try and find one with some frost damage. So if I pull the camera down close, you can see here's a couple beans that had frost damage. They're actually not completely dead, but they're not going anywhere soon. The root system's still alive down there, and that stem is still green tissue, but again, they've got no growing point. So on those beans, you need that growing point where these can develop out of, and without a growing point, they really have nowhere to go. So let's see if one of these will pull up nicely for us. You can just see it was frosted, and we lost that growing point. We lost those cotyledons as it rotted back, because that's how far down the frost went, or how far it got frosted, and we lost that plant. So if you look out here, you can see stand is missing. Do we have enough stand here left to make a crop? And what should we do with this stand? Well, the optimal thing is to get out here and take a stand count. We'll say these are 50,000. That's a low stand, right? You'd need really, the recommendation is plant 120,000 and then hope to have 100,000 plants of that actual plants go into your season with. That would be a full yield situation. A lot of growers start with a lot higher than that, so you have a little bit more to lose. But at this point, it's still so early in the season. I think what you do is you would come in and replant would be the recommendation, depending on how many you lost. And with beans, you can just plant right back into these. So you don't even need to tear all of this out. And hopefully you'll get a good crop out of it. It's still early. Now let's walk down. Let me find one more frosted off one for you. Here's another frosted off one. In this case, we still have those rotten leaves on top where they got frosted. But that plant's not going to pull through, but a lot of these did. So let's walk down here to the next planting date. We've got a lot more beans. So that first one was March 13th. The end of March, sorry, this was April 15th. That was the end of April, so about 18 days ago. The stand looks good. We don't have a ton of gaps, but there's some, but beans can maybe compensate about 2.5 feet. After that, you're gonna have issues. But these look like they've developed a full stand. And if we walk down here to where the cover crop is, you can see the cover crop is insulated this. Row cleaners pushed that out of the way at one point, and you got those beans in there before it was terminated and fell over. But you've got a good stand of beans that's gonna come up out of this. Conditions have got a lot better. So even though these got in early, they just sat here for a long time and didn't really do much. So even these later ones have done well. Now, once you get towards the end of April, you're gonna be losing yield with every day that you're not planting. So you've got to get out there. Planting early makes tremendous difference when it comes to yield, but you don't want to be too early. So just watch the weather and find a good window. But we saw a lot of beans in Nebraska go in before corn this year. It looked like about 20% of the state's beans were in actually before growers really started to get going on corn. But notice this last one has probably the best stand of all of these. Aaron Nygren's going to keep putting them in every 2 weeks or so all summer till we get to August, just to show what these different dates look like and what kind of yields are going to come off of these. Check those stands. We've had a lot of changing weathers from warm early to some late frosts to really dry conditions in a lot of the state to now here we had 3 inches of rain in the last 3 days. Watch for early season diseases, watch for gaps in your stand, and good luck everyone. For more information on all of this and what's going on in the fields, watch us on Scout Nebraska and we'll keep you updated with what we're seeing in the field.